Because the times
Woke up this morning thinking about
Those summer days.
best friend got caught up when I stayed in Douglasville. Doing trying to go by myself. I'm a What's good, y'all? Welcome back to another video. That's my apologies. I wasn't ready. I really wasn't, but it's okay. It's okay. The painful truth. A painful truth of Troy Ave. Let's get into it. I don't really know who this dude is, but let's get into it.
Kanye's weirdo.
It's a lot of rappers that's a weirdo. I like a lot of Kendrick Lamar's records too. It's a lot of weirdo rappers that are out, but I still, it's mad weirdo rappers. Oh, y'all don't understand it.
Hold on. So let me
Still getting money. Yo,
Hold on.
I'm giving hell until I go to heaven. I don't care. There's no rules to a reaction. It's no rules.
On this song, it's a Joey Badass diss track where he saw fit to call out or sort of diss or make fun of, make light of the death of Capital Steez. Troy Ave, you're an
In hip-hop, confidence is a double-edged sword. From Kanye West to Cameron to DaBaby, fans adore braggadocious lyrics that leave listeners with unshakable self-confidence. However, we've seen many artists bite off more than they could chew. Take for instance Lil Xan, whose shaky street cred never recovered from his off-base comparisons to Tupac and Beethoven.
Yeah.
2 was born music. 9 Beethoven made beautiful music.
That being said, few rappers encompass unabashed cockiness like Troy Ave.
Okay. When it comes to classical shit, I'm gonna be honest with you, no one can compare to that. That shit been around for so long. Our rap music, none of our stuff can compare to that type of stuff. Granted, I do have theories when it comes to certain pieces I hear. I feel like, let's go into Beethoven. They say he wasn't white. He was like a black dude. But he could pass as white, if that makes sense. So, I don't know. You'll be surprised how many people in history they say was white but end up being black. Look at Jesus. So, I don't know.
Once heralded the savior of New York rap, the slick-talking Troy Ave has taken a back seat to drill rappers like Pop Smoke, K-Flock, and the like. Despite this, Troy has refused to be a forgotten artist. Whether it be for his music, his countless beefs, or near-death experiences, Troy has remained a tentpole of New York rap as one of the most confident, yet unlikable rappers of all time. Way back in 2012, Troy was tipped as one of New York's great hopes for the future. Initially championed by Pitchfork, their 7.3 review of Bricks in My Backpack 2 stated, "Ave is everything history tells us a Brooklyn rapper should be. Clever, intuitive, smart, and relaxed." By the following year, Troy was largely touted as the man that was going to bring the feeling back to the Empire State, and when he announced that his debut record will be dubbed New York City, the album, it was clearly a task that he was willing to tackle. It's what I see in him that I see in myself. To me, Troy Ave is like a 1986 baby and probably don't know that. Raekwon said to Troy after linking up with him on the record. 86 for me, that was the energy I had. It's what he's bringing to the table, so I see myself in him in many different ways. Released to relative critical acclaim in November of 2013, the project performed well on his independent imprint BSB Records, but in Troy's mind, the record should have been a landmark in itself. "I know that New York City, the album is classic, and I'm charting on Billboard and I'm independent," he told Vibe. It's album of the year, and it's not just my opinion, that's everybody's opinion. Suddenly elevated from bubbling rapper to potential player in the industry, Troy's words were under scrutiny like never before. And while he may not have realized it at the time, being granted the ability to reach the wider world was set to be the undoing of his momentum as we knew it. Unwilling to play the long game, Troy immediately tried to box above his weight class on numerous occasions. Speaking to Hot 97 as his debut album was hitting shelves, Troy decided to unload his feelings on some of the biggest artists in the game. But rather than aiming for the MCs in his lane, he went for those creative icons who were pushing the genre forward and painted them in a negative light.
Yeah, Kanye's a weirdo.
Kanye's weirdo.
It's a lot of rappers that's a weirdo. I like a lot of Kendrick Lamar's records too. It's a lot of weirdo rappers that are out, but it's mad weirdo rappers. Oh, y'all don't understand it.
Resoundingly killed by the broader hip-hop listenership for his claims, the decision to dub anyone daring to move away from the genre's norms as weird got him off on the wrong foot with anybody whose first interaction with him was this interview. And from there, he just wouldn't back down.
I wasn't feeling static the other day, man, because Complex had a list of some and Rookie of the Year, and he voted for Chance the Rapper over me. And I said, I'm going to tell him when I see him. I said, yo, that you did voting for Chance the Rapper over Troy Ave was Coney, because I don't see Chance the Rapper at your parties or featuring on your records, and you can't be voting for drug addicts to be the Rookie of the Year. Like,
coupled with his close friend and bodyguard Banga being involved in an alleged beatdown of Isla McConan of all people, he only made himself the enemy. But rather than extend olive branches or walk back his comments, Troy leaned into the persona of the bully, and years on, he'd be faced with the allegations that he was running around New York beating up music journalists. And to this day, he still won't back down.
I started hearing, yo, Troy Ave's a bully. If you say something about Troy Ave as media or something else, he's gonna try to put hands on you. People had like a really bad reaction to it.
I didn't have no media training, which is no excuse. I don't care. I still don't have no media training. I don't have to go on apology tour. I'm gonna say I'm genuine.
I did feel a certain type of way though, because I heard you were beating up reviewers, writers, and
That's
bloggers.
cap.
There was some writer who came out and they were like, oh, Troy Ave intimidated me.
Oh, you might be talking about the writer who, he came out with me to my old hood. We went out, the goes and writes, yeah, I'm pretty sure Troy Ave had a gun at this time. Are you trying to incriminate me?
Did you beat that bro? Be honest.
I heard he got hands put on him, but I didn't know.
But while all of this could have been chalked up to the bravado of a bold, new MC, what really tipped the scales of public opinion was his approach to his relatively low-key feud with Joey Badass. As with very little provocation, Troy Ave decided to use his diss track against the pro-air leader to poke fun at the tragic of his close friend and collaborator, Capital Steez. Almost immediately, even those who'd normally give him the benefit of the doubt, including fellow New York vet Mano, condemned his actions.
But I think his perspective on that was wrong. I ain't really one to always comment on what men do. It's just a lot of people who have had family members, sons, daughters, uncles. Does that make everybody around him or his family or his homies weak because of that? I think he got that though. Later on,
with the Lox legend Styles P claiming that when you have no sensitivity towards others' pain, that ain't being a gangster, that's being a creep. Troy had every opportunity to retract it, but instead he doubled down during an interview with Sway in the Morning.
You didn't pass away.
Okay,
that's the difference. Okay. God gave you life. You didn't.
I'm a millionaire. I'm not a millionaire. I'm a millionaire. I'm not a millionaire.
Okay. The reason why I was looking like this whole time, cause it's all seemed like bullshit. Who the fuck is Troy Ave? You feel the fuck off. Because, number one, Chance the Rapper, he was addicted on drugs. He was. But he got rehab. He had Jesus in his life. He had people that cared about him. He made music about what was going on with him. He had Donald Glover from over here in Atlanta to help him out. I bet he seen the path he was going. He seen all the potential this boy had. So he's like, you know what? Let me put this kid under my wing. Let me, you know what I'm saying? Who is you? Who did you help? You know just about every famous rapper that says they're a legend, they put someone on. They help someone. Money, financially, musically, something that got them very popular with the new generation. You could go all the way back. All the way back. Outkast helped put Goody Mob on. Once they got on, you start seeing T.I. pop up. You start seeing Young Thug. You start seeing all these other rappers down here. Granted, some of these rappers down here ain't a little sus, but still, they rapping. Doesn't care. It doesn't matter, you know? Every rapper that I listen to, every artist I listen to put someone on. Troy Ave, I don't know who the hell you put on. And you being a little boy because you want to fight someone because someone got you in your feelings, that's kid stuff, bro. I'm 19. I shouldn't be saying this. It's sad. You run up on a journalist or you try to jump a journalist or whatever because they said that they're incriminating you. Well, shit. I mean, why did you give them a reason to do that? Did you make them feel threatened? Like, it has to be more in detail. Like, certain shit I don't get about these rappers that say you have to be one way, you have to be original, this and that. But if I listen to your music right now, that shit do not sound like I went to the whole top and then and I went to the grocery store and I'm gonna be doing my thing. And I don't give two fucks about you or your mama said, because I gon' fuck her right in your daddy's bed. I said fuck your dad and fuck your feelings, cause I be fucking on your sister and all your girlfriend. Like, nigga, you don't rap like that. That's how literally, if you look back in the day, that's how they was rapping. Curtis Blow, he was literally rapping like that. He was one of the first people to blow up. One of them. He wasn't an original. I know the Three Kings. You know what I'm saying? I know that. I'm just saying, like, Curtis Blow. When you think about that rap, that's who pops up in your head. And then you got Run DMC. You know what I'm saying? Like Sir Mix-a-Lot. You know, like, you got a handful of other rappers, they rap like that. Dun rapping and a phone and I'm buying and dun like that. They rap very simple. That's old school. That's the original shit. You don't rap like that. I bet you trying to rap like Jay-Z. Everybody want to be Hov. No offense. The dude looked off. Like, when I seen him, he didn't look right. At least to me, he just didn't look right. I'm sorry if I offended you. I'm just saying my honest opinion about what I see and hear so far.
It's your right to take that. That's a fact. Your friends speak to your character. I got friends as he got friends as himself. We not on the same level, dog. Don't play with me.
Having lost the civil war between Brooklynites in every sense, Troy had drastically reduced his own stock as both an artist and a human being in the eyes of many fans. And when it came time for him to release the follow-up to his debut, 2015's Major Without a Deal, the hip-hop world voted with its apathy, and in turn, made Major Without a Deal into a deeply ironic title for his sophomore project. Especially when you consider that the project had high-profile features from A$AP Ferg, Diddy, Mace, 50 Cent, Snoop Dogg, and more. Peaking at number 109 with 4,500 sales, the disdain that Troy had amassed meant that he was relentlessly clowned on social media for these numbers, whereas if he was any other independent artist, he likely would have been given a pass and room to grow. Having dragged his own name through the mud, it's in Troy's admirable, self-made grind that his true merits to the game can be seen. And in an interview with The Breakfast Club after the album's release, he made a really compelling case for why, rather than being a disaster, this was still a successful project for him.
Is 4,500 records sold a flop for independent artists?
Hell no, hell no. You gotta think, if I'm getting 95% of my bread, and within that week, I made 120 bands between the record sales, between 30,000 singles. It don't matter. You gotta get the slow grind, like the Reasonable Doubt grind. I could really match a platinum artist buck by buck with not even a single going gold, because what usually happens is an artist, they'll get a deal, and their regular deal, they get 15% of every dollar. A little more if they hot. I'm getting 95% on every dollar.
With an outlook like that, Troy should be incredibly easy to root for. However, when teamed with everything else, his status as a sharp business mind never gets through to the vast majority of fans because of the damage that he's already done to his reputation. Thus, when he was implicated in a shooting at a T.I. show in Irving Plaza, the world at large wasn't too eager to hear his side of the story. In fact, hip-hop even responded with a collective shrug when he was shot on Christmas Day back in 2006. However, even if this situation would have given him some leverage, the news that he intended to provide evidence against fellow NY rapper Taxstone in reference to the shooting meant that he was now in violation of his own street code. And if there's anything that hip-hop takes a strong stance against, it's snitching. After rhyming, "I'm only loyal to my fam, middle finger from the stand, it's either me or you," on Too Legit to Quit, Charlamagne the God didn't hesitate to award him the dubious title of Donkey of the Day.
I don't claim to be a gangster. One cardinal rule I do remember from the street is no snitching. But when you are a rapper like Troy Ave, who claims to be from the street and claims to be a gangster, you cannot attempt to make snitching cool. Troy Ave, you can't be the villain and a victim. All right, there's no such thing as an indirect informant. You either cooperating with authorities or you not, period. There's no cool way to be a rat. No, not when you're a street dude.
From referring to himself as Nupac in 2017, to claiming that he was now moving more militant in the wake of Young Dolph, even though he advocated for rappers to kill fellow MCs on more than one occasion, Troy has continually made a rod for his own back. And at this point, it feels like he has actually created his own glass ceiling that was forged by his words. Despite this, during a recent trip to DJ Academic's Off the Record podcast, Troy refused to acknowledge that the toxicity of his brand played any part in him never becoming the voice of New York. However, he was quick to point fingers at others.
I've done passed my trajectory. All the goals I set for myself, I passed them. I had to make new goals. I came in the game coming out the streets. I transitioned, I went positive, and I made myself rich. Everything that I did has never been done by independent, a real independent.
Standing as tall and confident as ever, Troy Ave has remained steadfast himself, despite being through the ringer while constantly gaining criticism throughout his career. Also, in many recent interviews, a more mature Troy has emerged with mentions of philanthropy and a family man mindset. Perhaps, time has helped Troy Ave work to become a better man and artist.
Don't drop the soap.
Hold on. So let me
Still getting money. Yo, I'm giving hell until I go to heaven. I don't care. There's no rules to a reaction. It's no rules.
Maybe not. Instead of being a beacon of growth, Troy Ave refuses to back down when put in a corner. It seems that there's been little change in Ave's mindset since this 2016 tweet, "You don't have to be politically correct when you self-made. If nobody built you up, nobody can tear you down. Help can be a handicap. #facto. His confidently harsh persona reminds us that he will never quit antagonizing his enemies and won't bat an eye to low blows. And when it comes to his rambunctious persona, it seems that not much has changed for the rapper. Nonetheless, whether you hate him or love him, one thing is certain. Troy Ave is an underdog who won't stop working no matter the conditions. Perhaps the confidence that makes him unlikable showcases how he's more real than most. Either way, Troy Ave remains a remarkably tenacious artist who is the only independent musical act to receive a gold medal. So whether you view him on your rap's Mount Rushmore or not, one thing is for sure. Troy views himself as one of the greats.
Okay. I will say this. I'm just going to say it one time. He talks a lot of shit. But that's how you fall off. I just want to know, who all did he help? How did he influence kids? Kendrick Lamar influenced kids. Kanye West influenced kids. J. Cole influenced kids. Drake influenced kids. Shit, Andre influenced kids. Jay-Z influenced kids. Chance the Rapper influenced kids. Donna Glover influenced kids. Isaiah Rashad influenced kids. Westside Boogie influenced kids. Eminem influenced kids. Not in a good way, but I mean, it's something. Shoot. Like, it's a handful of the greats, the legends that's still alive, that influence kids every day to stop doing drugs, to read more. Oh, Sweatshirt, Tyler Creator, to read more. Jaden Smith, to just get rid of not even get rid of technology, but take breaks, hiatuses. Like, honestly, what did you do? What do you do for your family? What do you do for your city? I'm curious. I never hear Troy Ave did this. You're supposed to move in silence. You're right. Right. But if you've been, I'm gonna lie to you, we live in 2022. Your name's not popping no more, man. You might have all this money in the world, but as a man, your integrity and your image is everything. So you come out and you have a bad reputation and your image ain't good, integrity ain't there, you gonna do something, you don't do it, or you always want to fight someone, you always say you got killers around you, but other people got people that kill themselves around them. Well, you can have killers around you. That don't mean shit. Anyone gonna shoot a gun. That don't mean shit. The problem is you got killers around you, people don't got nothing to lose, and they around you. Now you got targets around you. You need to start looking out like, yo, these motherfuckers really don't got nothing to lose. These some real killers. If I cross them, they gonna kill me. It's the whole thing about joining the gang. Gangs are stupid. You join, no disrespect to people that's in the gang. I get it. You got to do what you got to do. That's all y'all. But to me, if the gang don't have a 401k, if it don't have dental, health, medical, if you don't have a 401k, y'all ain't planting trees, helping kids go to school, even buying up corner stores and setting up your own little shops inside, planting trees, what I'm saying? Like doing stuff like that. I don't want to join that shit. Like if I get a salary job, you know what I'm saying? Not no hourly, a salary job, I'd be happy with that. That's just me personally. But the painful fall of Troy Ave. He did it to himself. I'm not even sad for this man. This man deserves everything he gets. He did it for himself, by himself. Simple. Peace. I'm my head hurting and shit.
Mario the poet.